Yeah, how's it going, guys? It's Thursday lunchtime, on quarter after 12. Just hanging out by the marina. It's like a lake out there. I had a park next to two of the ugliest people I've ever seen making out. Shit should be behind closed doors. That's besides the point. Yeah, so I'm heading up to West Haven, Connecticut on Sunday morning / afternoon to meet up with the Roopster to have some lunch. He invited me to lunch at Jimmy's on the water. Then we're gonna head off to We're gonna head off to Milford. I'm gonna take him to a classic car dealer where I went online, checked out some of the stuff they had in stock, and they have a 1970 Rebel machine. They said there's only 3 of these made in this color, which already throws up a red flag for me if it's sitting there. But in the pictures it looks really nice. But being an AMC owner, the first thing I look for are the rare parts that aren't there. I don't care how shiny it is. And right off the bat, I see the wrong intake, wrong carburetor, wrong air cleaner, wrong wheels. That sounds like nothing. But Rebel machine wheels are about $1,200, and they're made of steel. An intake manifold, I've seen them, a machine intake goes for about $400, plus you got to ship it. And the same deal with a carburetor. The air cleaner will probably set you back $700 to $1,000. So right off the bat, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars worth of wrong shit on the car. But you know, you go to a place like this, and they just see a nice, clean, shiny car, and they overlook that, and they're hoping the person that comes to look at it overlooks it. The last time I stopped in there, they had an AMX there, and it was a 68 AMX with red, white stripes. Opposite to mine. Mine's white with red stripes. Well, Junior's. I figured, how cool would it be to buy one the opposite color, because I've always wanted a red one with white stripes. So we're sitting there with the doors closed and the hood closed, and the salesman walked up to me every 15 seconds, and finally I stopped him, and I said, "Can you open the hood?" And he says to me, "We don't do that here." Look at him, I go, "What do you mean you don't do that here?" "Well, we don't open hoods." I said, "I'm interested in the car. I've bought a car from you in the past." I said, "Why would I buy it without opening the hood?" And he goes, "You'd be surprised. Most of the people just walk in, look at the car, say, 'This is the one I want,' and buy it and leave." I said, "Well, you're not making it easier here, are you?" And he goes, "Okay, I'll open the hood." Like he was doing me a favor. So, but you know, some of these places that sell these used cars, you got to really be careful. They do have a handful of cars that are sweet, and the person that owns them doesn't want to sell them on his own and deal with it. But a majority of them are well used. They're number 3 cars. You know, they got chips on them. They've been around. They've been painted 15 years. You know, everything needs to be redone. And then they ask money that is higher than the next level car would bring. So the only thing that is to your advantage is you have somebody come in there and you have somebody document the car, and then they're liable. If they tell you it's a numbers matching car, for argument's sake, 66 Chevelle, 396, 375, and you get that thing home and you find out that that was a 396, 325 car, they're liable. They got to technically give you your money back. It says documentation signed. They got to state that it's the incorrect engine. There's a lot of stuff they got to state in there. So, not that you can't win that case against a private person. I've seen it done. I've definitely seen it done. When Me and Lodi 3/4 went to pick up my rear from the back of the wagon. He had a 1969, I think it was. I think it was a 69 Super B Hemi car sitting there. He also had 3 super stock AMXs, so the guy was not short on cash. And he bought it from a guy that built or won a Hemi powered something. And he decided as time went on to rebadge it as a true Hemi car. Switch the VINs, and it got sold 2 times after that. 2 times before somebody realized the car was rebadged, and they just traced it back. And the guy that rebadged it needed money, and that's how we sold the car. So you got to be careful what you do, guys. You got to be careful what you do. That's why they shut down all those Eleanor cars, as they were putting the cowl from one car and the ass end from another and all that other shit. You know, there's got to be a certain point where the car's not the car anymore. So, but yeah, it should be an interesting day. It should be an interesting day. I'll show him all the parts of Connecticut that he doesn't know about, and he's only lived there 48 years. So, but definitely be fun, Ruben. And then I'm assuming next week we could start to watch Ruben paint his car. That should be interesting. You know, I'm crossing my fingers for you there, Rubester. All the best of luck in the world. All the best of luck. So we've already talked about it. I told him to expect runs, orange peel, bumping into the car a bunch of times, a lot of bugs, and just all nasty shit. I said, so when none of that stuff happens, or very little happens, you'll be pleased. I said, if you go into it thinking, you know, the paint's gonna come out of your gun like your foos, you're gonna be highly disappointed. But no, he's a realist. He understands. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Pretty cool. You know, we all have to understand that this is his first paint job. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. It is what it is for all of us. You know what I mean? And you got to keep that in mind for the amount of effort you put into it. The price of materials, you gotta base it on a lot. You know, you can't have your first paint job like that and buy $3,000 worth of paint. It just doesn't make any sense, you know. So, but I think it'll come out fine. I think it'll come out fine. I told him the night before I'm going to sneak up there with my old school gun and shoot it in the middle of the night, so when he wakes up, he won't have anything to paint, and he'll be all pissed off and disappointed. So, well, with that, I've been into ramble, and these 2 next to me making out is starting to make me nauseous, but there's no other parking spots. So,